Okay, hello everyone. Happy Monday. I love Breakfast with Champions. I love this community. It's an incredible space to be able to learn, lean in, and just elevate your voice, your community, and be open for what could be possible for you. And so I love Monday Motivation here in Breakfast with Champions. I'm over streaming on many platforms all at once. And I remember my very first time that I went to raise my hand in this community to be able to speak. And my stomach was in my throat. My heart was beating out of my chest. I had no idea what I was going to say. It was messy, but I did it anyway. And here I am hosting Monday Motivation, 10:30 every single Monday over here in Breakfast with Champions and all over my community. So I just want to say thank you to this incredible community that's been able to give me this space to be able to share my message and my voice when there were many times where I didn't think it could ever be possible. And shout out to a couple of my mentors. I know that Rachel Weaver, Araya, Marcus Black, Nate Forrest. You have been just incredible mentors and people to be able to help me share my voice, share my message. And holy cow, it's warm here in Puerto Rico, and I'm going to turn the fan on or else I'm going to overheat. Today's message, I really want to share what rest and recovery is all about. What the heck is rest? So if you're new to hearing my voice, I have a lot of energy, right? And I am on a mission to help empower every person on the planet put themselves and their health first for 34 minutes a day to reduce the stress and overwhelm of life and live a more fulfilling life. And I can't tell you how many times I've asked someone, hey, how you doing? And people are like, oh, I'm busy. Maybe that's you. If you're stuck in Busyville I'm like, that's not a state of mind, right? How are you doing? Are you overwhelmed? Are you fearful? Are you excited? Do you have happiness? Like when we can slow down the brain's process to be able to understand what is actually our human experience and what are the emotions that are coming up and place names and words to them. In the emotional intelligence space, this is what we do. And I study human behavior and psychology, and I'm actually training on a new modality that really does help slow this process down. So we get to feel our emotions. And what happens is in our nervous system, we feel them first, right? And so your palms might get sweaty. As soon as you go to hit on mic, like my heart races a little bit, right? Your nervous system, you might be a little bit nervous, or you might be in fear. You might be excited. And a lot of times, a lot of stress and anxiety and pressure and depression and overwhelm comes from the inability to slow down the process of the brain, of the nervous system. And so our brain is like a processor. It's like a computer, and it goes, it's go, 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 go. And it's processing zeros and ones. I have a very diverse background. I've been in the military for the last 22 years. I just retired, but I was a computer engineer. I studied binary code, a lot of zeros and ones. And so I know when you go to send an email, there's a lot of data that gets flooded through the network to be able to receive that email in an instant. It's a lot of zeros and ones. Boom, 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 boom. So our brain does the exact same thing. There's energy and electric current that goes through. And so it's important to recognize, okay, this is what our brain is doing at any given time. And when your automatic response is I'm busy or I'm too busy or I can't do that, that is your default setting. That is not an emotion. And so today I want to kind of unpeel the layer. Let's pop open the hood. I love to share that the body is like a vehicle. And sometimes we got to check the oil. We got to check the engine. We got to reset, hit the Control-Alt-Delete on the computer system, which is your brain and your nervous system. And we spend some time to rest. And being in the military, I love acronyms. So the acronym for today, I'm going to share 4 tips with you today. And that is the acronym REST. And I will tell you firsthand, if you don't prioritize your rest and that recharge and that recovery and slow down this process, then something or something is going to happen in your life that is going to force you to rest. Okay. So this is my place for you to be able to say, hey, let's set some preventative maintenance, some preventative medicine into your life, some rest and recharge, because unfortunately, society glorifies Busyville. Oh, I got 4 hours of sleep. It's like a badge of honor. Mm-mm. We know that our brain needs that time to shut down so they can recharge and replenish. So the R, first tip, R stands for recharge. Okay. So what I'd invite you to do is spend some time with some activities that are going to fuel you, that are going to recharge you, that are going to replenish your energy. Okay. So one of those things is sleep. Imagine that, right? So if you were able to actually prioritize your sleep, your evening routine, shutting down the screens, shutting off the television, shutting off the games, whatever that is for you that is causing all the lights and it's impacting your sleep. I'm a fitness coach too, right? So a lot of people are like, Crystal, I can't get up and work out with you that early. That's too early. Thank you so much, Annette. Hey, Marcus, you're here. My mom's here. Annette's here. You're all here. This is amazing. So make sure you're posting in the comments. I'd love to hear from you if you have questions. But many times people are like, Crystal, I can't wake up and work out with you. And I'm like, okay, well, what's your evening routine like? And how are you prioritizing that recharge cycle for your body? And so there's many ways that we can do this. There's sound machines, there's meditation practices, there's breathing techniques. And one of the things that we get into in the Cruise Beyond Limits world is your evening habits. How are you setting yourself up for success? How are you downloading all the thoughts that are in your brain at night so that's not on this cycle, on this repeat? So it keeps us up at night because we have these racing thoughts. So we have the Crystal Clear Life Planner that helps you jot down at the end of the night. What went right today? What can we do differently tomorrow? What were our wins today? And what do we need to remember for tomorrow? And so we download that. So one great tip, if you don't have the Crystal Clear Life Planner, have a notebook or 3x5 card or Post-it notes, something that's going to allow you to download the thoughts in your brain so that you can quiet the noise and get that restful recharge. So what other activities do you enjoy that helps you recharge? I know for me, the beach, nature, right? That helps me. Music at night, some sleep meditation music. There's tons of things all over the internet. All right. So find something that works for you so that you can get the proper recharge. I also take 20-minute naps, 15 to 12 to 20-minute naps, depending on how much time I have. I've already napped today. Right? I woke up at 5, I ran, then I taught a boot camp this morning. And when I teach and when I pour in, like you probably hear this energy and this passion, it takes a lot of energy out of me. And so by 7 a.m., I've already lived like 3 lives. So I set my alarm earlier. I turned off all of my notifications on my phone. I shut my brain down for 12 minutes. And I woke up recharged and revitalized. Shout out to Marcus Black with the Vitalize podcast. How can you recharge and revitalize your life? You have to set in the daily habits and the things that are going to refuel you. And we have to prioritize the things that are going to help set us up for success. And I think this takes a little bit of honesty, right? So if you're going through some hard times or if you're in a healing journey like I am, the last 9 months of my life, I can't believe it's been 9 months already. It's like a whole life. I'm a whole new person than I was 9 months ago. For those of you who don't know my story, I caught my husband cheating. I kicked him out, sold everything we owned. And I moved to the beaches of Puerto Rico to heal. But I know that I'm in a healing journey, and I know that I need to protect my sleep, my heart, my nervous system, and do everything that I possibly can to make sure that I have the mental and physical clarity and capacity to be able to continue to run my business, to continue to run my team. I've added 2 people to my team since then. I have not missed a workout. I have not missed a meal. I rest when I need to, and I give myself the gift to recharge and recognize that it is a process and it's not going to be perfect. And not every day is going to be sunshines, rainbows, and butterflies. This last weekend, I said, you know what? I'm going to rest. I'm going to rest because knock on wood, because I'm so tuned in to the things that I need and how my body is. And when it needs rest, I give myself that gift. I have not gotten sick. I'm here to heal. I go for walks. I get in nature. I get around other people. I network. I'm social. Right? I know that all of these things that I need to recharge myself, to fill my buckets. I'm going salsa lessons tomorrow night. I joined a run group. So salsa on Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights is run group. The things that I know that are going to recharge and revitalize me. So it's not always just sleeping. It's not always meditation and mindfulness. It's how are you going to fill your cup to re-energize and recharge, right? I'm an extrovert. So I get the energy from being around other people, not the people that are draining me, the people that are fueling me forward. Like Rachel Weaver, like Marcus Black, like the people here on Clubhouse, like the people in the Crispy on Limits world. Like it's a tribe, it's a community that is like, you get to show each other what's possible, and it's a different energy. It's a lean in, passionate, purpose-driven, impact-driven energy that fuels me, not the energy suckers, right? So that brings me to the E in rest. So number one, the R stands for recharge. So prioritize your sleep and prioritize the activities that are going to replenish your energy. E stands for engage in enjoyment. Why do we have to sacrifice the things that bring us joy? It's like busyville. No, in order to be successful, we have to be as, push, drive, busy, fill the schedule. Now, what if we could have some fun and play and enjoy some of the activities that you enjoy? So at the start of this week, I'll tell you, last week, I did not go to my salsa lesson like I said I was going to, and I did not go to my run group last week like I said I was going to. I'm human too. And even though I said I was going to do it, it didn't happen because I let the pressures of work and busyville get in the way. And I'll tell you, I had a conversation with myself this week, yesterday, when I was doing my weekend review of what went right, what went right, what went wrong, what can I do differently this week to elevate my life, my fitness, my business, my relationships. And I said, you know what? This week I am committing. I'm committing to my runs. I'm committing to the fun. I'm committing to the things that are going to bring me joy. And that is going to fuel me forward and fill my cup in other ways. That's going to have some fun and play and not so much drive and like necessityville. I just made that up. Necessityville. All right. So like if you're finding yourself in necessityville and desperation or just like needing to that, like just driving and not just taking a step back and just saying, you know what, where can we have some more fun and play? We're all just a bunch of big kids, right? So give yourself that gift, time block it, map it out, have a conversation with a friend or your spouse or a child and say, all right, let's go have fun. Let's get out and play. So think about what hobbies have you been neglecting? What do you really enjoy? So I love to ask the question, hey, what do you do for fun? I love to ask this question. Well, fun? I don't have time for that. I have kids. Or Crystal, you don't understand. Must be nice. You live on the beach. You get to have fun whenever you want. Why do we sacrifice the fun and the joy of life? All right, so get back to your hobbies. Is it playing cards? Is it meeting up with a friend? Is it going to the movies? What is it? Is it going for a walk? Maybe it's happy hour. Maybe it's knitting. Maybe it's exercise, volunteering. What are those hobbies that replenish you and bring you joy? and surround yourself with positive people and positive influences, the things that are going to fuel you, that are going to bring you joy, the people and the places and spaces that are going to fill your cup and not drain the heck out of you. You get to say no to the things that don't serve you. And this is the work that we do in the Cruise Beyond Limits world, to be able to protect your energy and sort out the gobbledygook and the things and the people and places and spaces and the pressures and the busyville. And we sort it out, we map it out, and we develop a plan to protect our peace, to protect our energy, so that we can spend more time in the places and spaces that bring us joy, to engage in more enjoyment. Okay, so that's number 2. So number 1 was recharge. Number 2, engage in enjoyment. Number 3 is rest. Or number 3 in rest is the S in rest is solitude. I had these conversations with my team last night in my community. We talked about confidence last night. We're doing a 6-week shred, and this week we're all focusing on confidence. And how do we build confidence? It's by reflecting and recognizing that we're here right where we're at and we're made for more. And so many times we get in this busyville, the busyness of life, and we don't spend enough time to reflect with ourselves. And so we tend to listen to other people's opinions. We wait for that validation. We wait for the round of applause from other people. And then when we don't see it, or it's not in the way that we enjoy or want, or in the right timing, or people don't recognize how far we've come or what we're doing, then we're left depleted and sad and depressed and overwhelmed. So when we practice solitude, we get time with ourselves to reconnect and reflect and recharge in a way that no one else can do for you. And so many people have asked me, Crystal, how do you run so much? How are you able to do this? I can't spend that much time with my thoughts. And I'll tell you, being a marathon runner, I've run 26 marathons in a 50-mile race after spending 6 months in a wheelchair and not being able to walk. So for those of you who know my story, I went from NFL to wheelchair, NFL cheerleader to a wheelchair. And I spent an entire year trying to get off of all the medication, the steroid injections, the needles, and the chemotherapy pills that I had to take. The times that they said that I would not be able to be an athlete and I would not be able to run again. And just like health said, there was nothing that was going to stop me. But if I believed all the voices and the places and the spaces and other people's opinions, then I would not be right where I am on this stage right here talking to you. But I had to get in solitude. I had to be my own cheerleader. I had to get curious of what is actually happening in my body, in my nervous system, and cheer myself on every single day, every single step that I took. Every single time it hurt and I did it anyways. Every single time I wanted to hit the snooze button and I didn't. Every single time I had to put my feet down and I had to crawl because it took about 10, 15 minutes for my joints to be able to move, to be able to crawl to the bathroom, to go to the bathroom, and then take some time to be able to actually get on my 2 feet to walk. That's the solitude that I'm talking about. And that's the work that builds that grit, that resilience, that recipe. And people ask me so much, Crystal, how do you do it? So I spend time with myself and I get real comfortable being uncomfortable. And I get really honest and I get really clear with what the heck is happening inside between these cute little ears. If you can't see me, if you're all over on Clubhouse, make sure you follow me over on social, because I'm right here on my public page right now. I'm on YouTube. Follow me over on YouTube, Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn as well. My ears are tiny, tiny, tiny. I'm a small human, but very mighty in my energy and in my presence. But what happens in the 4 inches between my ears is the most powerful thing. And so spending that time in solitude to be able to reconnect and reflect with myself and get honest. It is uncomfortable, but my friends, it is so worth it. And in the Cruise Beyond Limits world, we talk about the 2%. So we all have 1,440 minutes in a day. We all have the same amount of time. And so we prioritize the things that are important to us, the things that we need to accomplish in our day. And so 30 minutes of movement each and every day to clear out the gunk, to sweat, to get a little uncomfortable. That's what we do in the Cruise Beyond Limits world. They're 30 minutes workouts, including warm up and cool down, no equipment, no excuses, high intensity interval training and kickboxing, short, down and dirty from the privacy of your own home. All right. So you get to do it in your own home without judgment, without fighting traffic, without scraping snow. I know it's summertime now. But you get to reconnect and recharge and revitalize your life in a way. So I prioritize 30 minutes of movement, 2 minutes in the morning of goal setting, gratitude, and intentions with myself. I have my coffee on my balcony overlooking the beach, my journal's out there. I spend that time with myself, just 2 minutes in the morning, and then 2 minutes in the evening of reflection, celebration. What emotions came up? What maybe got in the way, and what can I do differently tomorrow? What will my future self tell me? What I wrote this morning, because I didn't do my evening reflections last night. It's not perfect, right? So that I bookended this morning, before I started this morning's reflections. And I said, keep going, just keep going, like your life depends on it, because it does. Okay, just keep going. Okay, so spending that time in solitude to be able to be mindful and present with your emotions, with your reflections, and just slow down that process. And it doesn't have to take that long. I have the 34-minute mindset. I just said 2 minutes in the morning, 2 minutes in the evening, 30 minutes of a movement. That's the 34-minute mindset. That's 2% of your day. And also 2% of the population actually commits, actually is consistent, actually does this hard work. And I want it to be bigger than the 2%. So join the No Matter What Club and let's create a movement that is bigger than us. We can get to show up in our powerful light, in our presence, in our energy, our very best self, so we can show others what's possible. So the S stands for solitude. If you're just joining us, welcome. We're talking about rest, to be able to revitalize and recharge and revive so we can thrive in life. That's what we do in the Cruise Beyond Limits world. So recognizing we need to recharge. The R stands for recharge. The E stands for engage in enjoyment activities. S stands for solitude. And T is the final one. Tune into your body. So remember, our body is like a vehicle, and the body will give you signals. And I'll tell you, the body keeps score. There's a great book out there, The Body Keeps Score. And especially after experiencing betrayal and lack of distrust and horrible experiences in my nervous system, my body is like, they're like 3x5 cards. It goes beep, beep, beep every single time that I felt that doubt, every single time that I felt that hurt, every single cut, every single time. The body keeps score. And the body will give you a signal. If you choose to listen to it or ignore it is your choice. The more you ignore it, the more it's going to recur and it's going to keep creeping up. So I study emotional intelligence, and this is what I do. And I help teams, and I help professionals and businesses and groups of people learn about their body and how to process it in a healthy way, to have more meaningful relationships, to recognize where the stressors and traumas and triggers come up and place meaning to them. So we have to slow down that process to understand, okay, self, we're feeling this signal. What is happening in our body? And so often we shove it down. We suppress our emotions. We suppress these signals that are happening in our body. So we must tune into your body to be able to listen and be able to respond and give yourself the gift of what it needs. So that might mean a conversation. That might mean getting away from the people that are your gut is giving you that intuition. Listen to it. Get curious. And then also listen to your body when you need to rest, when you need to modify the exercises. Maybe you're recovering from an illness or an injury or sickness or surgery or having a baby, right? Recognize what is happening in your ecosystem. And I always say, before we judge, we have to take inventory. We collect data of what is actually happening in our ecosystem. So when I help my clients, I help them sort this out. And I ask some questions and I get curious. Say, okay, well, what stressors and pressures are happening in your life? When I was diagnosed with cancer, when they put me in that wheelchair, when they almost did TMJ surgery on my jaw, they didn't ask me the question of, are you being abused? What's your home like? What are your stressors in life? No, they're like, hey, here's a pill. Here's an injection. Here's a Band-Aid. So we got to get curious of what actually is happening in our ecosystem that our body is signaling a response. And I'll tell you, most injuries and illness is coming from a signal in our body that's screaming for help. So the more that you lean into that and the more you listen and give yourself that gift, the better off you'll be. And we have to slow down and get quiet the noise. And so we need to really make sure that we fuel our body with the proper exercise and nutrition to make sure that we're fueling our body properly so that we have the mental clarity. We're drinking our water, good nutrients, healthy, clean eating. We're resting, we're recharging. So this acronym is REST. Hopefully this was a good reminder for you to give yourself that gift. You're worth it. It's worth it. And instead of pushing through, sometimes you just got to take a rest. Give it a rest. So REST stands for recharge. E stands for engage in enjoyment. S stands for solitude. And T stands for tune into your body. So with that, I just want to share, we do have an incredible experience that's coming up here in Puerto Rico next month, where you can quiet the noise, you can recharge, you can engage in enjoyment activities, you can be in solitude and quiet the noise and get clear and get honest in what it is that is going to fuel you forward. And do it with a beautiful group of people and myself and my team that can pour into you and treat you like the queen that you are. Sorry, guys, that's what this experience is just for women now. It's an all-inclusive wellness experience. Okay, so it's a week long. So you get to tune into your body. You get to exercise, clean eating. You get in community. You just have fun and play. It's a combination of things to give yourself that gift. So if you can't make this one, send me a message. I'll get you on the waiting list for the next one. I'm also doing VIP weeks. There's plenty of ways for you to be able to tap into this work, and the work works when you do the work. So with that being said, I hope I inspired you. My goal is to just ignite you to take small action each and every day, because you're worth it, and it's worth it every single time. So with that, I'd love to yield the mic to anybody here on stage in Breakfast with Champions. Any reflections, questions? I'd love to hear from any of you. We have a couple minutes before we have to close the room.
Hey, I just wanted to go back to something, Krystalore. Good morning, sis.
Hello, beautiful.
Oh my gosh. Like, I am so grateful that you're bringing up the importance of rest. I know that this is literally like a daily struggle for me. Like, the importance, because I'm battling between the thought of that hustle grind, and I'm like, yeah, but if you try to give yourself 4 hours of sleep a night, that is not, I know it's insufficient for I've done the testing, so I know I need that 7. I know I personally need 7. And if I want to be here for my granddaughter with longevity and the health span, then I got to make some better health decisions and choices. And that has to become that priority. And I also have to give myself grace. I typically, like, I had surgery I was telling you about. Me hearing your story about the wheelchair, it helped me to stop fussing at myself about why can't I just bounce and do this and that, instead of making the adjustments for what is. So I'm so grateful that you brought up and you encouraged us to take inventory of where we are right now, Krystalore, and take the time to make the adjustment. Maybe you need the rest, or maybe because you just had surgery or baby or whatever it is, you may have to make some modifications, and that doesn't make us less than. Thank you so much. I want to pass it back to you, sis.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you, and you lit me on fire before I came on. So thank you so much. I love hearing your voice every Monday here, and just the work that you're doing to help empower and impact the world. It matters. And so, and in order for us to be able to do that and continue to do that, we have to make sure we're taking care of and pouring into ourselves. And I love that word of grace. And it sounds like a buzzword, but I feel like it's a beautiful dance with ourselves, with that 4-year-old self of like, okay, honey, dude, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever that is for you, be kind, right? And just say, you know what? I'm on a process, I'm on a journey, and it's not going to be perfect. My very first live was sideways. It was so messy. It was ugly. The first time I came on stage here, I was stuttering, and still today it's not perfect. And it doesn't have to be, because I've given myself that grace and space to learn and be on this journey of growth. If I was perfect on day one, I wouldn't have anywhere else to reach for. And that's boring. So I love that word grace. So thank you so much. Who else would like to share?
Hey, Krystalore, it's Trisha.
Hello.
I just wanted to say that I love that you share your story and you give people inspiration to share theirs. Everyone has a story to tell, but it also gives people the ability to know that they can make changes and they can pick and choose what parts of their story they can excel on and use to benefit. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Trisha. It's scary, right? Because everyone has a story, and I think we all want to feel heard and understood and welcomed and like we belong, right? Those are basic human needs. And it's a vulnerable space to open up your heart. And I think also it's so freeing. It's liberating. And so often, even when I first started my business, I would have coaches that said, well, wait till you're healed until you share that story. You need to wait. It's, not enough time has gone by. And what has been so beautiful is since day one of this, what I call the messy middle, what in this process, in this healing journey, I've been able to share openly and authentically in a way, in this beautiful dance of what is going to serve the people that need to hear this message and in what way. In an empowering way, not a like, oh, poor me, or like, oh, oh. No, and not in a hurt way. It's in a healed, empowered way, right? And there is a way to be able to do it, okay, where we're not villainizing other people. And I just want to shout out, I think Marcus is not here anymore. He was earlier. So Marcus helped me write my last book. Yeah, not my last book, the one before. My second book, The Road to Resilience, 5 Ways to Have Courageous Confidence in Seasons of Change. It was the first time that I shared my story openly. And I was fearful for what people were going to say and what they would think or who I was going to hurt by sharing the hard stories. And I did it, and it was so incredible. And he helped me package it in a way that it empowered me and the listeners and my audience and my community to be able to move through and listen to inspire and help people see themselves in my story. And if I didn't share it, and if I hadn't shared my story since day one in an empowering way, and if I didn't have those tools to be able to do that and share this without tears falling down my face or being triggered or, being stuck in the mud and in the gunk, right? I'm able to move in and out and weave it in and out of my story to create an experience for you. So this is a skill and a gift that I have had to learn over time. It has not always been easy. Okay. So I just want to share that to inspire you, because if you have a message and you're fearful of sharing your word, I will tell you that there have been so many people that have sent me DMs, that have sent me messages that I've been able to coach and mentor. Last week, I have met with 4 people just from last Monday's talk. I was here last Monday and I shared my booking link. If you want to schedule a call with me, let me know. Just send me a message over on Instagram. I'll share you my booking link and we can hop on a call. But I met with 4 people last night that said, I heard your story and I need help. Help me get out just like you. Help me share my message just like you. I want to create impact. And if I hadn't shared my message, and if I didn't share my experience, and if I didn't learn and lean into the discomfort and the open, vulnerable space, then I wouldn't have been able to help those people. I wouldn't have been able to book that private client last week that says, you know what, I need help. Or a message from a woman last night that is leaving her husband yesterday because she's had enough of 7 years of abuse, physical and emotional, and betrayal abuse. And I'm coaching her at 10 o'clock at night in the DMs to help her get out and have the courage to walk away, finally, with 4 kids, being afraid of being a single mom. That's why I continue to show up and share my message. So I want that for you too. Whew. Okay, so who else wants to share before we close the room?
Hey, this is Jessica. I
Hi
just
there.
wanted to quickly contribute thoughts around the rest and recovery aspect because although we're built similar to computers, we're also not computers. So adrenal fatigue and everything is a real thing. If we keep trying to push and push and push, eventually it's not going to work. And so I think there's wisdom. There's wisdom in breaking our goals up and having a higher, a bigger landscape instead of just trying to push everything in one day. We're not machines, and that saps our joy and intention and why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. So I think it's really important that you talked about that today. Not a lot of folks they talk about the hustle, but they don't talk about the havens and the harmony and all the other things you need to actually be effective. Like you need both components to really tap in and catapult to what you're working towards. It sounds so simple and we intellectually know it, but depending on what side of the country or what capitalist, I don't know, like kind of like the industries and stuff, it's just kind of the culture. But we get to decide our culture with what we're doing here. So thank you for modeling that, and I love and appreciate you.
Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. I love hearing your voice, and thank you for reminding us that we are not computers. We're not, right? And burnout is real. I remember a time I was doing a 2-year, I was working on this huge project. So for those of you who don't know, I have a history in the diversity, equity, and inclusion space. And I spent 2 years on this massive project to implement diversity and inclusion in the military 7 years ago. And I was so overworked. I was grinding every single day. And I'll never forget the day before a huge presentation. It was a big deal, right? I went blind. I literally saw white spots. And this actually reminded me because I have this light that's above me that was flickering. And it reminded me of that time, as you were saying that, Jessica, like our body and our that adrenal fatigue, like we will burn out. And it's going to show up in dizziness and in like literally I thought I was going blind. And that fear of going blind, like I was like, holy cow. I can't imagine. Like, what am I going to do? I have to present this huge thing tomorrow. And I was like, I need to rest. I need to rest. I need to get away from the computer, get away from the blue light, get away from the lights, get away from the busyville and just rest. But that was enough fear for me to say, okay, that's what happens when the light flickers for me, when I know I need to rest. And as the light is flickering, it's so ironic that my light here is like, I don't know, something. Hey, I need a good backlighting. If anybody knows any good lighting, send me a message. I need some better lighting here for my live streams.
Crystal, I love this. I think that I'm going to try to go to your retreat. I think it's beautiful. And honestly, like in the morning, I just like for calming sensation, I always have candles lit.
Ooh.
And I don't like the office lights or like from the kitchen or whatnot, but I just think I just love everything about this today. I feel like I needed it.
Oh,
I need to come to your retreat.
Yes, I'd love to have you. Let's have a conversation. So today is actually the last day to sign up. When you have that intuitive nudge and you are right here at the right place at the right time, this is the time to move. And so let's have a conversation. Thank you so much for sharing your reflections. All right. So yeah, Chris, if you want to send me a message over on Instagram or in this platform, I know some of the messaging gets a little bit lost, but yeah. Anybody else have anything before we close the room today? Definitely click the link. If you know someone that needs this, send them the link. If you have questions, let me know. We can hop on a call. No pressure. If it's for you, it's going to call to you. All right. So that is Monday, Health is Wealth segment here in Breakfast with Champions and over in the Cruise Beyond Limits world. Thank you all for tuning in every Monday, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. every Monday, same time, same station. And so I want you to go out and be great. All right. Make yourself a priority. Rest and recharge. Burnout is real. All right. So we are not machines. We are human doings. We are human beings. We have to slow down the process, and it's worth it, and you're worth it. So keep going like your life depends on it, because it does. Have a great day, everyone. Cheers. Cruise Beyond Limits.